Hello, hello, and welcome everybody. JB here with JB's RCs. And as promised, day 2 of Beat the Creek. This was Saturday. First truck I took out was the Gmade Buffalo. This is the kit I built a while ago, one of my favorite trail trucks. And this was a fantastically fun day. It was raining almost all day long, from a steady rain to a downpour. And it made things quite slippery and muddy. We got some highlights from the day. This here is like a suspension bridge that they had. You can see it's all set up with the towers and the cables connecting everything. Crossing over a nice deep ravine. There's one thing that was crazy about this was Trail 2. A lot of the trail itself was quite far away from the walking trail. So your truck was quite far away from where you were walking. So if it did get stuck or flip, you had to walk over onto the driving trail, try to make your way there. Sometimes it was split by quite a distance, or a river or stream, creek, if you will. One thing about this that was kind of cool was, because it was raining, there wasn't a ton of people out on the trails. There still was a lot, but a lot of people were just trying to stay dry. So just being on the trails was quite fun, and you didn't have to wait for anybody. Nobody had to wait for you. You weren't worried about holding people up or anything if you got to a spot where it was a little rough to get through. But this truck just performed fantastic the whole day. This is running a Hobbywing 1080 Holmes Hobbies Crawlmaster Sport motor. Got a upgraded servo in there, FlySky RX-TX. Got some metal beadlocks on it and some Voodoo KLRM tires. They're little small 419s, but they work great and look great on this truck. Yeah, this little spot here is pretty cool. There was a lot of little bridges and stuff that were built. A lot of trees that had fallen that you could crawl over or on top of. The trails were really nice. Most of them, especially with the rain, it was keeping the trails nice and clear. And a lot of fun with this one. Like I said, this is one of my favorite trail trucks. No real weight added to it extra. It does have a 2-speed on it, so that was fun. And then the second truck I ran was this here Traxxas TRX4 Sport. This is my logo truck. So it's got the Jeep Cherokee hardbody on there, metal front bumper, metal beadlocks, and some landmines on there, 475 landmines. It is running a stock servo still, and the Hobbywing 1800 SE Fusion motor. And this was right at the entrance, so this is trails 1 and 10. I'm not sure what trail this is actually on, because they cross over each other a few times, so I was on both. But this is a huge ramp that goes up over the main road to the entrance of the park, and has the big main sign. You saw the sponsor sign back there. This one is the main Beat the Creek sign. Yeah, I'm up probably 20 feet in the air right now above my head. So, a little hair raising driving over this, but it was very wide, thankfully, and not too difficult to stay on. You'll see I get close to the edge a couple times, but again, I'm recording and for the most part driving backwards-ish. So you're steering, if I want the truck to go right, I'm turning left. If I want the truck to go left, I'm turning right. Just from the reverse. It's coming toward me instead of going away from me. So this truck is much louder than most. If you don't know, I've had this truck for a long time. I also turned this into a mud drag truck for quite a while. Had the old Ford Traxxas body on there, for Ford Bronco Traxxas body on there for most of that. And we ended up putting the Mamba X system in there with a brushless Castle motor, and geared it up quite high, and this thing used to fly. But because it was a mud drag, of course, it's already been through quite a bit of a beating, so it's quite loud. This part here was crazy. Way overflowed. You can see the bridge has got water coming up over the front here, and then the other side of the bridge, it just disappears into the main creek. I think this is probably the bigger of the creeks in the property. Yeah, and definitely a little higher than it should normally be. I was really worried about the car getting swept away with that current there, but with the hard body and the metal front bumper and the metal wheels, give that little extra weight to it, plus the mud on there, kept it planted pretty well. But you can just see the water coming from all directions filling this creek up. There was spots where there would probably never be water unless it was raining like this. There was like little streams all over. Thought I was stuck right there and thought I was going to have to try to wade out, but thankfully I had my rubber boots on. I was up to about my knees. I could go. It wasn't too bad. But with the flow of the water, and you never know what's on the bottom there or what's underneath the water, especially with the flow like it is, it was bringing some debris down with it, and there was sticks and rocks and stuff. But so much fun. Probably one of the funnest days I've had RCing. Just playing around in the rain, the mud, and all the puddles. Made for a wonderful day. So happy that I went. I will say I learned stuff, obviously, from my first time going, and next time I'm really going to try to get some friends to go. I saw a lot of groups of people. I mean, most everybody was in a group of some sort, and I was kind of just a loner out there. But everybody was very friendly, and anytime I saw somebody on the trails, they were stopping to talk with me or ask me questions, or I was asking them questions. So that was a lot of fun. And this truck definitely needs probably a new gear set, probably a new bearing set. And I've taken it apart quite a few times because, like I said, this was a mud drag truck for a while. And I had to put a metal spur gear on there because I stripped the spur gear with so much power that I had trying to tromp through the mud. That was back when we used to go to Cotton's, when he was open all the time. He's just doing special events now at his space, so I miss going there. But this truck definitely performed perfectly. I had no problems with it at all. I think up on the main fields where they had mowed and it was muddy, I got a bunch of grass wrapped around the drive shafts and the wheels and tires and the axles, so it actually bounded up enough to where the slipper clutch was slipping, which never happens with this truck. I have it tightened as tight as it will go, and usually it doesn't slip at all. So with the combination of the mud and the water getting in there and then everything wrapped up around it, it did work the slipper clutch loose. But once I got back to the truck, I cleaned everything up and it was working fine. So again, can't say enough about a TRX4. The sports, especially with the less moving parts, there's no locking and unlocking diffs, there's no two-speed gearbox and all that, so there's lots less gimmicks that can break or not work. A lot less electronics to go wrong in there as well. There's not all those little mini servos to change all those things, so really a lot of fun. And I've put this truck through the test and still running stock drive shafts, stock axles. Like I said, the spur gear is changed, and wheels and tires, I mean, obviously always change those, and the hard body and a metal front bumper. And that's it on this truck. Other than that, it's got the upgraded motor ESC with that fusion, like I said earlier. And as you can see, no problems in the water. We're up over the tires here, up almost to the hood, just trugging along, no problems. And yeah, that's about it. So we're coming to the end here. I hope you guys enjoyed this day 2 video from Beat the Creek. I know I did. Can't wait to go back. Hope it's muddy again. And you guys get ready for day 3. So we'll see you again soon and get out there and have some fun.